Hey everyone! So it's finally here. My most anticipated movie of the year has been released. Tenet is out, and I saw it. Now, before we start, if you've been lucky enough to see the film, go ahead and say your thoughts down in the comments because I'm always interested to see what others have to say about the movies. Now, it is time to get into Tenet. Now, Tenet is a new action sci-fi film written and directed by Christopher Nolan, and it stars John David Washington, Robert Pattinson, Elizabeth Debicki, and Kenneth Branagh. The movie focuses on a CIA operative who is sent on a mission to prevent World War III, all while being introduced to a brand new world of time inversion. Let's just get right into talking about the good aspects of the film. Now, the first and best thing about this movie was the execution of the concept of time inversion. If you've seen the trailers or really heard anything at all about this film, then you know that it messes with time. This is very obviously and blatantly Christopher Nolan's take on time travel. I will not go into what happens specifically in this video because that would go into spoilers, and I would definitely not do it justice with my fumbled attempts at an explanation. However, I felt that the movie covered it very well. The whole concept of time inversion was really central to the film, so it was given a whole lot of screen time and exposition by some different characters. Now, admittedly, I was confused at first and really needed time to catch up and comprehend what was going on. However, as the film moved along and got halfway through and was moving towards the third act, the pieces really began to fit, and boy, did they fit. I know that the complexity of the film and its concept seem to be a negative for some people that I've heard talk about it, and I really don't understand why. Like all of Nolan's films, as long as you paid close attention, you'll be given the right clues throughout the movie and the information that you need so that you can figure out what's going on. And I wish I could talk more in detail about this specific aspect, but I really do want to avoid spoilers. Now, the bottom line is that the way the movie twisted and constructed the passage of time was super cool and was executed in a way that I really, really enjoyed. The next good aspect is how well done the action was. Now, I've looked into quite a few behind-the-scenes videos and trivia, and what I've found in terms of the stunt work and production for the video is absolutely breathtaking. All of the action has a feeling of realism to it throughout the movie, and a lot of that is due to the fact that they actually did the stunts that and built the sets that are seen on the film. And that's what's on display in the final product, and that's what makes it feel real. In the scenes where the characters are moving backwards, because that's shown in the trailers, it happens throughout the movie, the actors and their stunt doubles actually found ways to perform their actions as if they were moving in reverse. Another example, there's a scene in the film where a 747 aircraft crashes into a building, and that is what they legitimately filmed on the film set. They got an actual airplane and crashed it and exploded it into a building. And so many details like these are what aid to the movie feeling so real, even when it has this completely bizarre concept. You can tell that it is genuine filmmaking meant to immerse the audience, and it goes to great lengths to achieve that, and I thought it was fantastic. The next positive on this film is how good it works as a straight-up spy movie. There's a villain working for dubious goals, and the protagonist and all of his allies are working together to stop him. There's a lot of different lies being told by different people to predict identities and motives, and there's a sense of urgency throughout the movie that helped the spy aspect of the film to be so good. The villain, who is played to perfection by Kenneth Branagh, is chilling, menacing, and overall very, very scary. The protagonist is slick, quick-witted, charming, and working towards the greater good. He also has a team of allies with him that are fun to watch because they bring in new perspectives, skills, and at times add a bit of levity, especially Robert Pattinson's character in particular. It has gadgets, albeit some very different ones from a typical spy movie, giving the concept of time travel and inversion. It has big action set pieces and fantastic fight/chase scenes. It's really everything you could want from a spy movie, and it all plays out extremely well. My last good aspect of this movie was that it did stretch my brain out as I tried to comprehend how everything fit together throughout the film. Now, I know some people may not particularly enjoy having to think a great amount while watching a movie, which I can definitely understand because I don't enjoy that all of the time. I don't want to have to sit and work my brain really hard as I'm trying to watch this entertaining movie. Sometimes you just want to watch and be entertained. However, it was fun for me in this movie because of the originality that's there in the concept and the presentation. There's really not much more to say here, except that I enjoyed my thinking and what it took for the amount of work that it took for my mind as I watched it. Now, unfortunately, we do have to move on to the bad aspects. Now, as much as I loved Tenet, I still think that it's one of Christopher Nolan's weaker films, which doesn't make it bad by any means, it's based on his standards. But I think the biggest reason behind this being one of my least liked Nolan films is that it really lacked any sort of emotional core. And when I think through his filmography, Nolan has always had an emotional core in his films. You know, Inception had the main character's troubled relationship with his wife and children. If you look at the Dark Knight trilogy, that explored the characters through multiple films and was able to dig deep into their motivations and relationships. However, Tenet didn't really have anything. Now, maybe there was a little bit here and there, but it felt like it only showed up when it was needed to move the plot or give a character some reason to go and do this thing. And then it went away after it was used for that. And I think like part of it was that it just didn't have enough time. It needed so much time to flesh out its concept and explain it and get the audience to understand what's going on, that it left nothing for building characters' relationship. I could have been much more invested throughout the film than I already was if I could have had something emotional and personal to grasp onto. The next negative thing I found in this film was the sound mixing. There was times in the film where important exposition was being given, like stuff that you needed to know to be able to understand the film, and I could not understand what was being said no matter how hard I tried, because either the music was too loud or the action and the surroundings and the environment was too loud. Now, I thought the score was good, and I normally do like Nolan's sound mixings because it's loud and big, but it's not normally done when important things are trying to be explained to me, and I have to really strain my ears to be able to understand what they're saying. In this film, the sound mixing just wasn't done well, and I can't figure out why, you know. But when I get it on home release, I'll rewatch it with subtitles, which will make it better. But for those who don't like subtitles, it could be a frustrating watch. And I actually, funnily enough, I thought it was just my theater at first because they had just reopened recently. And I was like, oh, maybe something's wrong, like they hadn't checked on it. But as I looked what other people were saying after I saw the film online and stuff, it was like this everywhere. So that was definitely unfortunate. So I'll get into my closing thoughts. Overall, I thought that Tenet was a phenomenal film with a fantastic concept, breathtaking action, and terrific production. It is a perfect film to bring people back to theaters because seeing it on a big screen, I think, is going to add so much more to people and their experience as they come in to watch it. However, it definitely could have benefited from some sort of emotional core and more time spent by the filmmakers on making sure the sound was mixed well. For score, I would give Tenet an 88%, and I would highly recommend it to anyone, particularly fans of Nolan, sci-fi, or the spy genre. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. This has been a legit review of Tenet.